Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me again for another live Q&A session here on my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you tips, tricks, techniques, things that I do every day in my own voiceover business. And then we get together in these weekly chats. I will ask that bear with me today. It's been a rough night. I don't even know really what to say. But we lost one of our own last night or yesterday. It's kind of a shock. So for those of you that knew her, Allie left us yesterday. I don't even know what to say. She'll definitely be missed. But we are here to talk about agents and rosters today. We do have a poll. Again, bear with me. It's been a rough night. We do have a poll about, I should probably put that on the screen. If you have an agent or if you're on a roster, and if you are, then please share that information in the chat. I'm going to need a little extra help today. I don't know. I feel so wrong just to continue on, but poll. So 3% of you said yes, both. 7% of you said yes, you have an agent or you're on a roster. 23% of you said no, but I plan to, and 67% of you said no, do I need to? I can tell you that I am on a few rosters. I do not have an agent, so to speak, but I think at some point, perhaps, I think with in this age with all of the casting platforms and things like that, I don't necessarily know if an agent is necessary as the, I mean, this is just my personal opinion. Again, if you have a different opinion, then that's fine. Go ahead and share it in the comments for us. We're open to everything. But I think that these casting platforms have sort of taken on that role. However, I'm sure that some agents have still have access to things that we don't, or companies, clients that we don't on these casting sites. But that's just my personal opinion. But I am on rosters, and those are rosters that I have sought out and asked if they had in-house talent or if they used freelancers or something like that. And this is, I found these companies in very much the way that we've talked about before about marketing, about reaching out to companies and offering your voiceover services. That's pretty much how I did it. Social media is definitely a great way to market yourself, to have potential agents and or rosters or companies with rosters, book publishers reach out to you to put you on rosters. And I was going to use Allie as an example of that today. That's exactly how she did it. Was with one of the ways was with her TikTok platform. But if you want to reach out to agents yourself, just know that more than likely they're going to want to have a professionally made demo, a strong professionally made demo, and you're probably going to want to have a very solid portfolio of work that they're going to want to see. They may also have other criteria that they want you to meet before they'll take you on. I've had this question a few times about reaching out to an agent as a beginner. Not that I have anything against, I don't want that to come across the wrong way. I don't have anything against agents at all. I just don't think, typically as a beginner, we don't really have a portfolio, or we don't have a strong enough demo to even submit to agents, right? So it might take a little bit of time. I would invest in the beginning more into training, coaching, perfecting your craft, and getting some jobs under your belt and building that portfolio before you reach out to agents. But getting onto rosters, I don't think is going to be as stringent. I don't know if that's even the right word. I think as long as you can, if you have a demo of some sorts that you could provide to them, and if they don't already have a voice like yours on their roster, right, then, I think that would be a better way to go in the beginning, is to find rosters to become part of. Am I making any sense? Like I said, it's been a rough night. Wow, this is going to be tough. All right, bear with me. I know I'm forgetting a lot. If you have questions specifically about agents rosters, then this would be the time to put them in the chat. And again, if you have experience with reaching out to a roster or an agent publisher, then please share that also in the chat. There was something else about contracts that I wanted to mention. Oh, in terms of agents and contracts, if you do reach out to an agent, you submit a demo to an agent and they want to represent you, make sure that you understand the contract. And that really goes for really any kind of contract, right? That even just a client sends you. As I always say, read what is sent to you. There have been a couple times in my own situation where a client has sent an NDA to me, but it wasn't really an NDA, and it had some things in it that I didn't agree with, including like the ability to sign my name for me on things, and that's more of a power of attorney than an NDA, right? So I respectfully declined. So long story short, whatever you are sent, or whatever, if an agent is sending you something, make sure that you understand the terms, the percentages, how long the representation is going to be, if it's going to be multi-year, just for a singular year. And then also, if you don't hear back from a roster or an agent, then don't take that personally. I would imagine they would get back to you. But if they don't, or if they do get back to you and decline, don't take it personally. It more than likely just means that they already have a voice like yours, in their pool of talent. So don't be discouraged by that. Just keep looking. And I would also start locally. I would also start with smaller agencies first, I think. That's the way that I would go about it. Again, I apologize. I'm trying. Now let's get over to the comments and see who's here. I think I saw Dwight in first. Hey, Dwight. Hi, Angela and Company. Hi, Dwight. I don't. Agent or roster. I am in the start to this career late in life, so I don't think that I will ever need an agent. I do, however, strive to rise to the level of being offered some roster statuses. I mean, you could now. I mean, reach out to them, right? I mean, it's just as simple as Googling video production agencies, e-learning content creators, and asking if they have an in-house pool of talent, or if they use freelancers. And if they use freelancers, submit your demo and ask them if you could be, on their roster. Why not? Do it, Dwight. Strange Storm Cat says, hi, Angela and all. Are there rosters available to people who are being coached? Yes. Or coaches, trainers, mentors who offer rosters. I want to say that there are. I know Anthony Pica has his academy, and then he also is building yes, it's the Academy Voices, but I think you have to be part of his academy to be on his roster. So I know they're out there. It's just a matter of finding them. Rustic Hillbilly is here. Good morning to you. Dylan's here. Good morning, all. I haven't looked into getting on rosters because I'm trying to get out of audiobooks, but I do have questions. How much do you typically make per finished hour when you're on a roster? That's a great question. I think it all depends on who you're working with. Some of them will have their own set per finished hour rate, or, like studio hour rate, or some will use your own. I think it just depends on where you go. But that's definitely a question to ask. Donnie's here. Hey, Donnie. I currently have a duet audition to get on with Royal Guard Publishing. And it's awesome. We're excited for you. Fingers crossed for me and my amazing partner. Absolutely. Paul is here. Hey, Paul. Good day, Angela et al. From sunny Dunmow, UK. I answered yes, as I'm on multiple rosters, though offhand I don't recall any work coming through any of them. The perception here in the UK is that an agent won't take you on unless you have a significant track record, more significant than my 4 years and 50 books. Yeah, I think it's just going to depend on the agent. I've seen some require that you have like IMDb credits, or something like that. They're all different, and they're all going to have their different criteria. Hey, Rebecca. Hello, everyone. I'm hopeful for our audition as well. Yes, we're all crossing our fingers for the both of you. Narrations by Nicole says, hi, everyone. I'm brand new. I assume it isn't the right time to try and find an agent, but someday. Yeah, I think as you're brand new, you're still sort of finding your groove, finding your money voice, so to speak. You're still learning and growing. And you don't typically have a significant portfolio, significant being more than a couple, right? You want to be sort of tried and true. Because if you think about it from an agent's perspective, they don't want somebody who they're going to push into the face of their clients and be let down, or have the client be let down, right, by someone who quite can't quite fill the need, or perform the job that they're asking for. They want to make sure that you have some experience and that you can, right, that you've performed well. It's just like social proof. It's just like, like ratings and reviews kind of a thing. They want to make sure that you are experienced and that you can handle what they're asking you to handle, basically. That makes sense. Jim is here. Good morning from Memphis. Good morning, Jim. Good luck. Yes, good luck to you too. David Brumfield says, hello, Angela, from Hamilton, Ontario. Miss Alicia Full says, hi, everyone. I'm watching from the bus again on the way home from work. Yes. Pokemon Skylander says, good morning from Virginia. Jim's, yes, she was a Allie, met Allie a few years ago. She was a mentee and then became a friend. She's a Platinum Group member. And she is a huge loss. I think she had just got accepted onto a few rosters for audiobooks. She was mainly of the spicy variety. She was our resident spicy audiobook narrator. Yes. I'm sorry, I can't read through all the condolences comments. I can't handle it. Caesar says, oh, hi, Angela. Never thought I needed an agent. And I'm still getting a lot of work despite not having an agent. I know VOs who have an agent and find work that way. But yes, I would imagine that your location has something to do with that. And I'm kind of in that same sort of mindset. I'm in that same place as you, Caesar. I don't know if I'll ever really need one, but you're also very good at marketing yourself. And I think more like a referral, word of mouth and referral is working for you. So, I mean, there's many different ways to find work. I don't necessarily think, having an agent is just another way to find work or to have work find you. But even with people that I talk to that have agents say that getting an audition request from their agent is, maybe a 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 a month, right? And that's not even really a guarantee that you're going to get the job, right? So, take away your own decisions from that. Pokemon Skylander says, I am on a few rosters, but as a different stage name. Oh, okay. So you're using a pseudonym or stage name? Pretty much the same thing, isn't it? Caesar says that said, hello, everyone. We all remember Allie with great fondness. She was truly one of the purest rays of lights I've ever known. Our many memories and interactions will be deeply cherished. Yes, sir. Jim says, does being listed on a pay-to-play site count as being on a roster? I would say not really, because you're not sort of representing that pay-to-play. That pay-to-play is more or less hosting you, right? I wouldn't call that a roster. I would think if you reached out to a company directly and you were representing that specific company, I would call that a roster. And when I say represent, meaning that you're on their website as one of their talents, or, if a client reached out to that company directly and your voice was offered up to that client, that's a roster. I wouldn't necessarily think a pay-to-play site would be a roster. It's more like they're hosting you. Yes. She was. Dwight says we got Angela. We all loved Allie. Oh God, I can't even read those. Caesar says, oh, and an addendum, I am on 2 rosters, Royal Guard and Tuttle. That's awesome. Old Dog New Trick says, hello, Angela and everyone. Hope everyone is well. Yep. I'm sorry I can't read the comments about Ellie. I just can't. Jim said, probably takes a loaded portfolio to get on the roster, right? They need a proven talent to be able to see the talent to their clients. Exactly. And we generally don't have that in the beginning as we're just getting started and we're just still in the stages of perfecting our sound and finding our voices, right? Finding what we're capable of and how to effectively get that across and to emote and all of the things. So usually in the beginning, we're not going to have a solid enough portfolio or have a, stellar demo until a little bit later on in our careers, right? And you brought the donuts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Peak Parable says, in reaching out to an agent or roster, I found it first nerd. Yes, you need to prove your worth by earning jobs before they will give you a job. Yeah, essentially, yeah. Because if they're going to promote you to their clients, they want to make sure that you can handle it, right? That you're tried and true. Proven was a good word. Mr. Gibbs, how you doing, Mr. Gibbs? I am on an agent called Big Fish Northwest Talent and signed up to a few talent rosters. Also to hear about Allie. Yeah. Old Dog New Trick says, not sure if this is on topic enough. Please skip if not. How do narrators promote audiobooks beyond friends and family? Social media. Social media for sure. And remember, there are many different platforms, right? I mean, you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got TikTok, which has been really effective for voice actors and audiobook narrators. Did I say Facebook already? You've also got X if you wanted to, LinkedIn. You could also share the news with, if you're in Discord groups, I mean, Telegram, I mean, any really platform that you're on, that you're in a group, that you have an audience, right? Make it known, especially if you're doing like a royalty share book. Absolutely. Spread the news. How many agents and rosters can be part of? That's a great question. I don't know if there is a limit, although if you are signing with agents and rosters, if there's something that you're agreeing to, abiding by, signing a contract for, make sure that you understand the verbiage and you understand what you can and cannot do before you sign it. Meaning, if you find an agent, let's just say locally, that hires you on for multiple years, and then you have a perhaps nationwide agent that finds you, or a larger agent, and they also want to sign you, but you can't like overlap. So let's just say if you have like a local client and you do a commercial for the local area, and then you have an agent who has a competitor client reach out to you and they want nationwide, they're not going to like that sort of overlap, right? So, and that same goes for some of the verbiage for the client. I'm trying to get my my brain's still not working right. I hope that you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Long story short, read the contracts, read whatever you agree to, whatever you're signing your name to or clicking the I agree box, whatever it is, make sure that you read through it and understand it, because you don't want to inadvertently upset anyone that you're represented by, right? Or you might even be prohibited from certain areas or certain, you know what I mean? So make sure that you understand. But there really isn't like a cap, but there might be some overlap that you might need to be aware of, if that makes sense. Dwight said, the publishers that I met last month all said, develop a strong portfolio, be varied in style, and showcase your skills. If you get a name of a publisher, contact them quarterly with a check-in email. Yes, it's good to stay top of mind. And that goes with really any kind of marketing you're doing. And if you choose social media as your marketing tool, then you're going to have to make consistent content. If you choose email marketing, you want to check in with them. Excuse me, you want to check in with them every once in a while to make sure that you stay top of mind. Definitely, for sure. And if you're out and about and you're networking and you have business cards and you get a business card, you definitely want to reach out to them every so often to say, hey, I met you at XYZ convention and I just wanted to touch base. This is my email address. I mean, even though they have your business card, don't just sit back and wait for them to contact you. You want to reach out to them first, right? Make it easy for them to reach out to you. Does that make sense? Peak Parable says, I found local regional media companies that specialize in specific groups like Love Books or sci-fi in your particular niche. Yeah, even joining groups, right, will lead you to new companies, new ideas, new avenues that perhaps you didn't think about before, or companies that you didn't think about reaching out to before. You learn so much by just being in the community, in even smaller, like niche communities, right? Masonry Construction says, a minority of my income is VO, so an agent is not in the plans, although it is the most fun part of what I do. Sage 1 VO says, good afternoon, everyone. I didn't think I would need one. I naively thought they were only for the top 10% of VOs. I wouldn't agree with that. No, I wouldn't say that's what it is either. But you definitely don't want to, reach out to one in the very beginning. My sleeve stuck on my chair. You definitely want to have a little bit of work under your belt before you do that. Rebecca says, to Old Dog New Tricks, I've been following Allie's guidance with TikToks and friending indie authors. Still growing, but it's been great advice so far. Yeah, again, Allie was going to be a great example of marketing yourself on TikTok. There was another mentee of mine that did the same. I know she's got a pseudonym and stuff, so I don't really want to out her, but she did essentially the same thing. She got onto TikTok, much like Allie also, onto TikTok, recording audiobooks live, making lots of content, just sitting in the booth, sharing thoughts, sharing successes, setbacks, just being active and making consistent content. And then what that does is that slowly moves, your content gets like dispersed out into the interwebs, and then you start to make connections with other narrators, with authors, and then eventually with book publishers, right? I think the two of them specifically are on like 5 or 6 different rosters, mainly from, making connections and creating content and being visible, top of mind with that consistency on TikTok. So great inspiration. Great inspiration. Thank you, Donnie. My cup of tea says, morning, y'all. Morning to you. Pokemon Skylander says to Rebecca, yeah, I'm a Virginian. Yes, he does. Again, I think it's, I do think you need to be a part of his academy, though, because it's the Academy Voices. So I think you need to be part of his academy for that. I'm on his voice roster. Dwight says, according to Joel Frumkin, rosters are participation trophies, but they are so useful validation and great marketing tools. I mean, essentially, essentially that's what it is. Once on a roster, email quarterly with or without roster status. Jim says different ages speak to different markets, so go for it. I am 73, so offer an adult human American Southerner. Mm-hmm. Yep. Masonry Construction says Fiverr is currently charging a 20% fee. Upwork has just announced an increase up to a max of 15 with some protection of older accounts grandfathered at 10%, figure 15%. I mean, really any pay to play or freelance marketplace, they're not doing that for free. Right? They're not going to host you to make money on their site without taking a piece. It's just, it's just business. It's just good business, right? And every platform that you're on or represented by, I mean, agents, rosters, I mean, they all take their piece in some way, shape, or form. I mean, being on a roster, if they have their own fee that they charge their clients, they're taking a piece of that, of course. I mean, every site platform that represents you, basically, or hosts you, is going to take a piece for sure. So again, understanding the fine print, understanding the contracts, understanding what you're getting yourself into, so you have that expectation, so you know what's going to happen. And then you can decide at that point if you want to take it on or not. Ultimately, it's up to you. Dylan says, I've come back to the stream late, honestly in tears about Allie. Yeah, it was definitely a shock yesterday. We're all still a little messed up about it. Caesar says, Allie's rosters. I think there was another one in there too, wasn't there another one? She accomplished so much. Nikki says, sorry if I missed this, but as an established artist, I'm just curious why you've decided not to get an agent or whatever the right verbiage would be. Because sort of along the vein of what I just mentioned, it's sort of pick your poison. If you decide to be I'm on so many different platforms that I'm pretty visible. I mean, I think the only thing that I'm not doing that I could be doing more of is more social media content, more behind the scenes stuff. I post a lot of clips of, videos and stuff with just little tidbits of information, but I don't do enough behind the scenes stuff. And I think, honestly, social media is a much more effective way of being seen, being visible, and meeting new people than, I have to say, an artist, an agent, a roster, or even a pay-to-play or a freelance marketplace. I think social media is much more effective than anything else right now. But I mean, even if I took the time to create a stellar demo and wrote out a portfolio CV and, impressed someone with, my talent or whatever, and I only, as a handoff, got, 1 or 2 audition requests a week or a month even. I mean, how much different is that? It's just another stream of income, but it's not like it's going to make or break you. Does that make sense? And again, that's my opinion. Of course, all of you do what you want. It's ultimately your business, your choice. And again, that's why we have these conversations. So that way you can make a little bit more of an educated decision in what you want to do with your business. I think maybe at some point I might have local agents. I'm not sure. But right now I am on rosters, but I don't have an agent. Yeah. Yes, Caesar. Dylan says, honest question, when it comes to finding agents, do I just Google VO agents and spam my demo? I'm looking for agents that handle commercials and different advertisements. I mean, essentially that's what it is. You'll find some probably local in your area or nearby, regional, national. I wouldn't spam your demo though. Um, if you Google agents in your area and you find a couple that are local, I did this not too long ago just to see what was out there, and then you'll be taken. You'll like they'll pop up on a Google map, right? You can select which one you want to look at. You look at their website, and then you go to the talent, or sometimes it'll be on the first page. It'll say, submit your. I think the couple that I saw said voice actors, submit your demo here, and they'll give you an email address to submit your demo to. So if they're asking for it, which it looks like most of them were, send your demo. And I don't know if you will have even the opportunity to write out anything or if it's just upload your MP3 here and maybe you'll hear from us kind of a thing. But I would say, Dylan, for you, go out there and explore what is available to you. And if you have the opportunity, submit your demo. I mean, what would it hurt? Right? Joy is here. Hey, Joy. Hello, everyone from rainy Southfield, Michigan. I know I need to have a consistent jobs earned, so I won't be getting an agent, but I am working on getting on Atlas's roster. Good for you, Joy. So proud of you. Strange Storm Cat says, if you know an author who has books that are not narrated yet, would you suggest? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Rochelle says, hello, Angela and everyone. Can you please explain about a roster? Where do you find one? How to go about it? And or agent? Is it necessary in the beginning? Google and be part of groups. Join communities. Again, joining groups is going to be hugely beneficial to you in your career and in many different ways. And one of those ways could be somebody mentions, hey, there's this, new company that they're looking for voiceover talent, or just simply Googling, right? If you look for video production companies, e-learning content creators, stuff like that, and then look around on their website and see if you can see, really any company that makes content or does something that could use a voice actor. And then look around on their website and see if they use in-house talent or if they use freelancers. If there's a way to contact a, like a talent director or something of that nature, or even, reach out to them and ask them that question. Do you use in-house talent or do you use freelance talent? If you use freelance talent, maybe you could use a voice like mine, something along those lines, and then submit your demo. Really, that's all it is. But as far as being necessary in the beginning, no. I think having the ability to reach out to an agent in the beginning is going to be difficult, because they do want to see they want to see a good portfolio of work and a solid demo from you. And we typically don't have those in the beginning, not just yet. We're still perfecting our craft. We're still perfecting our sound. We're still learning and training and finding all of these talents within ourselves. We don't have any of that really solidified yet. So in the beginning, it's going to be very difficult, I think. You'd probably be at least 6 months to a year in if you're solidly training and coaching and things. Tanya's here. Hey, Tanya. Black Forest cherry donuts. Oh, good God, that sounds amazing. Hang on, I'm going to turn my air conditioner on. It's getting hot in here. I'm just talking my current author down from the fact that Fiverr charged 20% and take a while to pass on payment. Yeah, really any way that you look at it, if you're meeting somebody on a platform, even agents and rosters, there's going to be a percentage added on so they can take their piece, right? It's just the cost of doing business. Some are higher than others. For sure. Jim says, I write marketing emails 3 times a year. Yeah, I think you could probably even make it a little bit more than that. What is the rule of thumb? Is it 3, 4, 5 times a year? Just to kind of touch base. Of course you brought donuts. Thank you so much for that, Alex. I appreciate you. My understanding right now is that a talent has to show they can make their own way before an agent will consider taking them on. Yeah. I mean, again, if you think about it from the agent's perspective, they're not going to show their hard-earned client someone who's just begun, who doesn't have a solid demo or portfolio of work. They want to make sure that you're a proven voice actor, that you've got experience, that you can handle what they're asking you to do. And in the beginning, we just don't really have all of that together yet, for the most part. Yet. Note I said yet. Masonry Construction says, no real complaints from me with Fiverr and Upwork. I only pay them when I get paid from their work. Seems fair to me. No expenses incurred in months which are slow. That's exactly right. You don't get charged unless there's an order to be done. So they get a piece when you get a piece, right? Exactly. Dwight says to Caesar, Academy Voices cost is about $10 a month. Besides roster listing, they have the RS challenges for books too. Nikki asks, have you paid for a demo since you aren't seeking an agent? No, I've always DIY'd my demos. I think at this point, I would probably continue to DIY my demos unless I was looking for something. If I was, much like Dylan said earlier, if I was looking for an agent for something specific, like commercial work or e-learning work, then I may have someone who specializes in that vein of voiceover coach me through producing a demo for that specific agent, right? Because I want to make sure that I am on trend. I want to make sure that my demo reflects what is currently on trend and what is perhaps most often asked for, looked for, right, in that particular vein of work. Does that make sense? So if I was looking for an agent for specifically commercial work, I would want someone to coach me and help me create a demo that was specifically for commercial work. Because I wouldn't want to submit something that was just totally something different if it didn't have the right, music tracks or sound effects, if it wasn't sort of on par with what is necessary. You know what I mean? So I think that would be the only time that I would do that. Otherwise, I would just DIY my own demos, I think. Oh, we got a super chat. Let's raise a glass for Allie. Yes, I had a few. I had a few for her last night. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Dylan. I think what we're going to do, if you're in my platinum group, I think we'll start a collection for some flowers, or I haven't really decided if we should do a collection for flowers or if we should do a GoFundMe to help out her husband, Jim. I haven't really decided yet. What do you guys think? I mean, if you're in my platinum group, then go over to the positivity and gratitude thread and let me know your thoughts. And we'll see if we can get something rolling. It's just been sort of hard to focus on that. But thank you, Dylan. Voiceover Van Deen says, afternoon all. Establishing direct relationships with video production companies, e-learning providers, direct end user clients have brought me far more work than any rosters I'm on. And I think that is the best way to go. But reaching out to those companies, they will usually have their rosters of talent, so they will put you on their roster, so to speak. But I think that is the best way to market yourself, and also social media, of course. I think those two are probably the better way to go. Personal opinion. Jim says, putting my work out there is a matter of creating good demos to share. When I approach prospects, I do not attach samples up front, mention that they are available, and let them ask. Yeah, I'm of two minds of that too. I would hate coming from a place in the corporate world when I worked for someone else, when a new vendor would just, spam me stuff. That's kind of how it felt. And I don't want to come off the same way. So to Jim's point, I would want to start a relationship first. I would want to start a dialogue. But then the other side of me says that what if they just don't? What if they don't reciprocate? What if they don't communicate? What if that one email is my only shot? Do I attach my demo and, just hope for the best? So what do you do, right? So I haven't really decided which way is the better way to go. I mean, for me, I would think, having an organic relationship to build something organically and start conversations. But I mean, is that just like a pipe dream? I mean, do people even do that anymore? You know what I mean? Building relationships with clients. I mean, some do, I think, but I don't know. Or do you just get straight to the point? I guess it's really going to depend on the personality of the person you're reaching out to, but we have no idea what that is. So what do you do? Just shoot your shot, or do you build a relationship first? What do you do? Kat D says, attending the UK OVC conference this week. Oh, cool. Is that a good place to try and find an agent or use it to network for your own work instead, or maybe both? I would say both. Most of those conferences will have representatives of publishers. I mean, you could probably find some good contacts at conferences, just period. Whether you're networking with other voice actors, audiobook narrators, or like, again, sometimes they have representatives there from agencies, rosters, or publishers. So definitely anytime you go to a conference, take business cards with you. Anywhere you go, just have business cards with you. Jim says, I vary recording rates by the use of the sample. If it's going to be used for strictly audio, it's 4410. 40. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Jim. Janelle says, absolutely. Hey, Janelle. Rochelle says, thank you. Great info. I have 12 years of radio, TV, broadcasting, including commercial ads. Would it count, or are they looking for voice acting for audiobooks specifically? I would say, you might have already enough material to create a professional demo, and sounds like you already have the experience. So I would say create a demo and just see what happens. Reach out to some agents. If you're looking for specifically just audiobook work, then reaching out to rosters, audiobook rosters, they're probably going to want to see audiobook work in your demo. So I think depending on what kind of agent or what kind of work that you're offering the agent as far as what you can do or what you want to do, your demo is definitely going to have to reflect that, if that makes sense. Both. Gregory says, I just had 2 of my friends get put on the same roster within weeks of each other. Staying the course as well as being consistent and resilient is how it works. Well said, Gregory. Well said, Gregory. No problem. I'll keep all 4 eyes on Discord. So you mean like your audio for what does that have to do with rate, though? Common sampling rate. Okay, yeah, I thought he meant like monetary rate for some reason. Yeah. Okay, well that makes sense. I was confusing like sample rate and monetary rate for some reason. I'm not sure. Not sure. All right. Again, guys, I'm so sorry if I was just all over the place today. I'm still sort of reeling. For those of you that knew Allie, just my studio was supposed to be pink today. It's kind of pink. I'm wearing pink for her. Her studio was black and pink. So channeling Allie today. Again, if you're in my platinum group, head over there and let's talk about what we want to do. If you want some great examples of social media content, then her TikTok channel, narrator Allie Anthony on TikTok, is a great example of that. I appreciate you guys. But I'm going to go before I start blubbering. So I'll see you guys next week. And for those of you in the Platinum group, I'll see you guys on Thursday. So you guys are so funny. All right, you guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.